Hello, my name is Drew Regner. I'm an instructor here at Benteh STEAM Academy with Connect Tribe.
Hi, I'm Thomas.
Hi, I'm Bree.
And today we're going to be starting to make drums. So you're going to get some things. You're going to get these fun little pinwheels. These are your lacings for your drum. You'll have 2 of those, and you will have a drum round. First thing you need to do before you start making a drum is you need to get these wet. So this rawhide, it's really, really dry, and it's not cured animal skin. It's cured animal skin is leather. This is just rawhide. So we're going to get this wet. We're going to get our lacing wet. To do that, you can use a bathtub, ask your parents' permission, fill your bathtub with cold water, and put these in overnight to soak, and when you wake up, they'll be nice and loose and flexible. Or get a bucket, a nice trash can. Don't use a used trash can unless you cleaned it out really well. Ask your parents' permission, make sure it doesn't have any holes so it doesn't leak anywhere, and then put it in. Make sure it's cold water. It's okay if it doesn't cover. You'll come back in a little bit and it will be wet, sort of like spaghetti noodles. They go from dry to wet. Now, we're going to be doing multiple drums, so I have a lot of these. We're going to put all these in. Get those sunk in. That's nice and cold. Then we'll put our other drum hides in. There's Thomas's, there's Bree's, and there's Sam's. Come back later with us and we'll make sure these are sunk down all the way. And then tomorrow we'll string up drums and we'll create some drums. So here's our drum hide. It's been soaking overnight, so it's nice and wet and loose. We're going to use that. We're going to use a drum frame, and we're going to find some lacing. So you should have 2 spirals of lacing. Here's one, here's our second one. We're going to be showing you multiple ways to string a drum. So I will be showing you a little bit more advanced way. It all starts off the same. You take your lacing, make sure you're somewhere where you can get water because they are wet and full of water. You're going to pull your lacing between your fingers to stretch out the lacing. You don't want to stretch it so much that it rips or breaks, but you want to stretch it.
Today, we're going to be making a drum in the way that I was traditionally taught. So for me, with the drum round, I went through and felt all the way around to see what side was the smoothest for me. And after I got to what I thought was the smoothest side for me, I put a mark on there showing me which side needs to face down when I'm stringing my drum, which will be on the bottom side of the drum. Which, make sure if you have multiples in your soaking tub that you grab yours out. The smooth side is the side that's going to be the outside. Your rough side will be your inside. So I want to make sure that my arrow, which is right here, faces down to the inside. Then we get to have fun stretching these. Some of yours will be connected, some of yours will be where you won't need them. Don't throw them on the floor like me. Your parent or guardian will be very mad at me for doing that. Right now I am doing this for 2 reasons. One is to stretch this out and the other is to wring it out. Which side's fatter? This side is. So what I'm going to do is put a small slit in and then in. I'm actually going to cheat because I went backwards on mine. I made a point to help get mine through. So for mine, we gotta make sure that when you string yours through, that you keep all of your lines flat. I wanna go this direction. And if you've already watched Drew's video, you'll see that he went around on the outside with his already. My style is a little bit different. I don't use an outside ring. And the one nice thing about with this style, if you keep it flat from the very beginning, when you go through to start tightening everything up, it will already be flat and you're just pulling flat lines through. You won't have to do a lot of twisting in the middle of it. So I may end up having to restring this one. I doubt it, but we'll see. Out, so this one's from the inside. And actually, I don't think I'm gonna have to tighten too much at all. Pull that one, pull that one. Then goes to that one, which then goes to that one, which then goes to that one, which then goes to this one. Is we have to re-soak it and relace it. But this is how I was taught how to make my drums. This is not by any means a way that you have to make yours. This is just one of the other options. Thank you for joining in on this video. I hope you and your parents and guardians have a wonderful rest of your day.
And we're gonna make ourselves a drum, but we're gonna be a little bit different this time. We're gonna use a little bit of creativity and make something pretty unique. Instead of doing a standard drum, we're gonna try and create a little bit of a star in the center of our drum. So this will be the back, and we'll have all of these different hide lacings coming out, and we're gonna shape them into a star on the back side of our drum. I've never made this kind of drum, so this will be fun. Right now I have our standard drum hide, but I went through and we've cut additional holes. As you can see, we're doubled up in certain sections, but not all of the sections have double holes. We don't really need that many. We're gonna try and do it with a limited number of holes punched. We're gonna pick our top and bottom. So this will be our top. So we're gonna want our point of the star to come this direction. And from there, we're gonna play with it. A really cool thing that I like to tell people about is the fact that we're doing something unique and we're doing it in a different sort of style. So we're gonna use a couple of different words. First of all, we know what clockwise is, the same direction as a clock goes. We're gonna go the opposite of clockwise, which is technically called withershins, which is a new word I know a lot of people don't know yet. So withershins is an old Celtic term. So since we're doing a cool Celtic star, we're gonna use the term weathershins. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around, and every single hole, I'm gonna come in from the back side to create myself a good lip to lace all this from. Okay, so there should be 12, 12, 1, and then that should be it. We're always going to be off by 1 because it's an odd number of holes. Tuck that for now, and then I'm going to go and slightly tighten things around this drum a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to make this into a star somehow. So the first thing I need to do is establish what parts are going to be there. So we're going to try and bundle these into 5s, which is pretty easy. We wrap twice, we're going to loop under, and then because we're good Boy Scouts, we're gonna loop the other way and under. All right, so that's that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna tie up their last 2 and make a star. So then I'm gonna be really decorative and I'm actually gonna wrap every single row. And there you go.
We take our hide. There's one side that's the outside of the animal. In this case, they're all buffalo. So one side is smooth. That's the outside of the buffalo. The other side is rough. That's the inside. So the outside is the part that you want to drum on. The inside is where we're going to put the ring. You can tell because there's all the marks from scraping. So we take our drum ring, we put it inside. We're going to move these other drum rings around. Put it on a table, whatever space you're working with. In this case, a box. And we're going to start on one of the holes. There are 16 holes. So when we're done, you should have 8 spots inside, 8 spots around outside. We're just going to string it through each hole. And you should end with both pieces outside. Now, I start pulling the long side and it tightens the drum up around the drum frame. Now, I tie this with a square knot. Sometimes you need some help with this. If you're not really good at knots, it's good to tie this and have someone put a thumb on here. So here's Thomas for a thumb. Here's the right way the knot should look. Both these parts are going under this loop. These parts are both going over the loop. If it's wrong, we go this way. This part's over, this part's under, this part's under, this part's over. That knot will come right out. So right way, both under, both over. Then we pull it tight. This is the basic starting point to make your drum. So from here you can make a Dreamcatcher, you can make a spiderweb Dreamcatcher, or a traditional strung one, just doing a traditional T-handle, or in this case I'm going to try to make a hoop game one. That gives us our first little square, and then I'm going to go with this one. There's one, and back through there. We'll count to make sure we're even this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So we go through here. This way. Okay. Going to go across, under, and then I'm going to go to the next one, right. Now, repeat this pattern. Go across to the next empty one right there. Then I'm going to leave these ones. So I'm going to start going over. We'll go under, then over. To my next open one, which is right here. Then I go back up to the next one, which is right here. And I go back to where I started by weaving them over here. So I'm over here. I'm going to go under first, then over, and then I'm going to go under where I started. There's our second one. Now I'm going to go to my next. Now we go down to my next open one, which is right here. Put this through. Now since this one was, that one's under, so this one has to be over, so I have to go under here. Then over, then under, then over, then my next empty one is right here. Now, we have to do our cross hatching. So I'm going to go to where we started, this little rectangle. and feed my line under. Okay. Now we're going to go from angle to angle. So I'm going to feed around right there. And I'm going to go to my next spot, which is this one under this little flap, and go around it. And my next one is right here. Okay, I'm out of rawhide, so I'm going to grab my new rawhide strip that I've just had soaking so it didn't dry up. I'll attach this in. There's two ways you can do this. You can cut a hole. We have this pair of scissors. So we flatten this rawhide out a little bit. We fold the rawhide in half. We cut a slice. You take your rawhide tail end. You put it through the slice in your new one. Like that. You take the tail end of your rawhide, your new one, and you put it through the slice in your old one. Then you just pull it through and your rawhide's connected. Now we just continue going across, and there we have our completed pattern. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to build up this square and this outer one. I've done this part, this part, this part, and I could grab it like that. Or I could put a handle on it. I've never done a handle before. I'll wrap down to right here, and we'll just tie an overhand knot. Now, hopefully it dries tight. Now that you have your drum strung up, whichever method you decided to string your drum up. You want to put this in a cool, dark place, not freezing cold, but not super hot. And you're going to let it dry slowly. About 4 days, it should be dry. Traditionally, we let them sit about 4 days before they're nice and dry before we even play them. So I know it's tempting to go up and start to play them, but if you play it while it's wet, you could make it actually loosen up and not be as tight. So let it dry, be patient, let it dry for about 4 days, and then you can start using your drum. So in that time, make your drumstick and get ready to play it.